The workers are back and they are actually putting the color on the foundation. This is how they're applying the color. Then eventually they will put the framing on the windows, but they are going to apply this once, and then once they're done applying this first coat, then they will apply a second coat. So this is the color. It comes already ready to use. And so yeah, they just apply it and it's good to go.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a before, and they are going to color from over here all the way around. One of the biggest reasons and one of the things that I'm hoping to accomplish by doing this is because if you notice they've got some little streaks going around here. Well, that's from when every time it rains and the water drips down from my plants, that creates that discoloration. So I'm hoping that by doing this particular color that will not happen, especially because this is an acrylic finish. But regardless, the reason why I'm doing it the same color is not only to help with those streaks from looking awful and taking away from that curb appeal, but also because that color, even though you can't see the foundation, you can see the trimming, and it'll kind of go cohesively with the house. Now, I'm not doing the upper bricks, but the upper bricks have a multi-color, but it does have a little bit of tints of reds and a little bit of greens in it. And I really didn't want to take away from that natural stone color. That being said, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me. Today I am so excited because it is a beautiful day all the way around. Not only because the weather is beautiful, but because the house now looks beautiful. And I am over the moon on this new look. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is show you what the rock wall looks like against the house. And then I'm going to walk around and show you the color. Then I'm going to walk around and I'm going to show you the new color around the foundation, what it looks like today. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit about retrofitting on earthquake proof insurance in your house because I've been asked about that. But my main focus for today is going to be putting this garden back together again because spring is coming, plants are coming up, and so I got to make it look nice and beautiful again. But first, let's get to the house color and the foundation. Doesn't that just look amazing? I tell you, the first colors that were presented to me were black or a dark gray. And after a lot of thought and after going to the place where they do the pigmentation, this one just stood out to me. And I think it coordinates really well with the house. It's not in your face and it just resonates with this house. Leave it in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. So this is what it looks like looking at it from this angle. And it doesn't look like it's a whole lot different. I don't even think the neighbors have noticed. Now, once the plants start blooming, it's even going to look more amazing. And now the bricks look so much better with it too. But one thing I want to point out is that when you open this gate, look at how much more beautiful that looks. I will link that home tour. Go check that out because when you first open this gate and you look at the house at this position, these stairs were awful. So Brad came out here and he painted it. Now this color is not quite as deep of a red as it was before, but it goes really well with the reds in the house, and so it looks just fine. But he also painted the deck of the porch because that was equally as awful. That one had a lot of scratches, if you notice it on that video, and it just looked awful. And so, yeah, painted both of those, and I tell you, it looks amazing. So the lighting on this side gets really dark, so it looks like what it did when they first refaced it with the cement. And now it's green and it just looks beautiful. Now when it's sunny, it looks so much better, but this is what it looks like now. but the windows are framed now, and it just looks nice and clean and gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It looks like a brand new foundation, to be honest with you. I'm going to turn the camera around. Maybe you can see a little bit about what it looks like from this angle. The other thing that we did is we power washed the stairs, and they look amazing. And we also power washed this. Now the house looks so much cleaner and much better. Now this is old siding, so it's not going to be perfect, but it still looks a lot better than it did before. And now you can see the color over here. This was just gray. And so, yeah, I mean, I kept envisioning about painting it, about maybe doing some kind of mural there. But now that this is actually done with a color cement, oh my gosh, I don't have to worry about anything chipping with the heat. I don't have to worry about painting it or doing anything. I mean, it just looks amazing, and it goes really well with the house color. Now, this was mainly the part, so there's just a little strip here. But let me take you over to this side. I love it, you guys. I love it, I love it, I love it. So this is the area that was resurfaced. The house up here had not been power washed at this point, but this was resurfaced at one point, and then now it'll get resurfaced with the pigmentation. But from this point that I'm pointing all the way down is my south side garden, and as you can see, it looked horrible. I mean, every time I came out to garden, I would look at this wall and visualize it being perfect, and just praying on that we could actually get this resurfaced. And now all that has come true, and I am just over the moon and feel blessed that this is finally done. So now let's take a look at what it looks like. And now you can see how much beautiful that looks. Look at how gorgeous that looks. Now, you can't really see because the sun's in the way, but doesn't that look just amazing? And now you look at this foundation, and I'll bring you back over this direction so you can see, but look at how gorgeous. Just look at how gorgeous that is. No more big blotches of concrete. It just looks nice and smooth, and just, again, it looks like a whole new foundation. Remember, there was this big blotches right here? Yeah. New windows. Yeah, just looks amazing. And now you can also see what this garden area looks like, so that I can start now replanting my plants and just putting this whole garden space back together again. So I just want to mention really quickly, because it was brought to my attention about that they noticed about the retrofitting and asked me if I had retrofitted our house for earthquake proofing. And yes, we did. So this is what you see this right here. Most of you probably are familiar with this if you retrofitted your home for earthquake proofing. But everywhere that you see these metal plates, that is attaching the house to the foundation. And so this way, when you have an earthquake, it doesn't fall down, or at least allows it to give it a little bit more structure. So you'll see that along here. Now, at the very end, there wasn't any retrofitting on the outside. It was done through the inside. At the time, our basement was not finished inside in that area, and they couldn't retrofit it from the outside because of the back porch, as well as just being in this area. So they did it inside. It is now covered. You can't even see it, but it is retrofitted all the way around. Now, you can do this as a DIY project. Our neighbor did this on his house, but I don't know the specifics of what his insurance was able to do for him, or if it was covered under his insurance. But at least it's retrofitted for earthquakes. So it doesn't, just because you're not insured doesn't mean that it's not a good thing to do. It's always great to do for your home, for your safety. So I would still recommend it. However, you first need to find if there's somebody that can retrofit your home. If they can, then go to your insurance and ask them if it would be, if your home is insured and to what extent. I don't know all the specifics because Brad actually took care of that, but at least you have a little bit of information to go by. But because not every state has insurance that will cover it, not every home insurance will cover it, the whole thing. So just really dive into it, ask any questions, and if you have any more questions on this, put it in the comments down below, and I'll see what I can get from Brad that he can recall, because we had this done about 4 years ago. But yeah, it's retrofitted, and we went, if you're living in the Portland, Oregon area, we went with Portland Retrofitting Company, and so they did the work, and our insurance, I believe we have farmers insurance, and they were able to insure us for earthquake proofing. To what degree, I don't know. To retrofit here in Portland, through Portland Retrofitting, it can run anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000 depending on your square footage of your home and what they have to do to be able to retrofit it, and if it can be retrofitted or not. So there's a lot of things there that's kind of in the gray area for me to really give you details on, but at least you can at least have an idea of what to go through. Again, I don't think retrofitting your house is a bad thing to do regardless, whether you're insured or not, because it does help. Now, we probably roughly paid, I think we have like 2,800 square feet on our home. I mean, that's the whole house, right? So I'm not sure around the house, but I think it roughly cost us about $4,000. So I don't know. It could be more or less. But at least you have an idea what to do if you're considering retrofitting your house, if you live in an earthquake area and are thinking about doing this, you have something to base it on. And so I hope that's of help, and I hope that I was able to answer it, at least some questions there. So, okay, I got to get to my gardening and get that done. So let's go over that side, and I'll show you what I need to do. So first off, this part of my garden really is difficult to film. So if it gets really dark, I apologize, but it's just life on this side of the garden. But I am going to be adding some new soil. I'm first going to make sure that all the plants that are coming up are okay. Then I'm going to add soil over this whole area down here, and then clean it up, kind of start putting things back together. And I'm not going to be putting my containers back, mainly because I'm selling my home and I want to take those containers with me. But I'm going to try to make it really pretty. Here are my 3 plants, and my yarrow, I forget the name of this plant. I'll put it down on the screen for you. And then my lion's ear. And I think this one has bit the dust. Yep, I think this one just really bit the dust. So I think this one's toast. But I know my yarrow's still doing good, and this one still looks nice and healthy. And then I have one other little plant here, which looks like it's got some life to it, so I can get that in the ground as well. So that's what's in for today. If I have time, I will clean up my hellebores over here, get rid of all that dead foliage. Now what I'm going to do is kind of smooth out the ground and just kind of leveling it up and making it look good. So that's number 1. and then from there I'll start adding soil. Now I will be fast forwarding this just to condense this a little bit more, because I did do a lot of talking already, but this way you'll be able to see what it looks like before and what it'll look like after. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So that you know, I'm not trimming any plants. I am basically, this is my conicola grass. I'm basically cleaning all this dead branches off of it. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just carefully cleaning it up. As you can see right here, this little red, I don't know how well you can see that, but this is red. That's all the new corner grass coming up. Well, I'm right across this area. I'm going to go ahead and clean out all of my helleboras here. Now, helleboras, you can, because they're cold hardy, you can clean off the foliage at this time. I wouldn't do any other plants, but hellebora or any cold hardy plants you can clean up. Now all these blooms, they're not going to go away anytime soon, but new foliage come springtime will start emerging. So because it's still winter, I'm not going to be giving my plants fertilizer, but I'm going to give them this kelp. Using kelp helps reduce the shock of the transplant, so keep that in mind. It's good for a lot of other things. I'll go into that in more depth if you want, but that's what I'm using to kind of help my plants take the transplant a little bit better. And you just want to do a teaspoon per gallon. And even though this is good soil, I'm still going to add some potting soil around it. This is just Kroger garden vegetable and flower soil. I can see a lot of new growth on the bottom here, so this one might survive, at least I hope. Okay, so now I'm ready for this side. There was nothing here. Basically, I just had all of my containers that I'm going to be taking with me, so I'm not going to put those back. And so I am going to add some soil, and I don't know if you can see, but there is something growing right there. So No doubt this requires sun, so I may have to move it to another area. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant it over here and see what happens. And come spring, I'll transplant it elsewhere, even if it's in a container. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, nothing here was growing, so I'm just going to work the ground up a little bit and just kind of add more soil. Right now it looks pretty empty because we are still in winter, but I was able to replant some of my plants and hopefully they will continue to do fantastic. I've got my Dahlia de Sol that still needs to come up over here. I've got Bishop Dahlias over in this side where it's empty over here that have not emerged yet. And then, yeah, and still some other areas. I'll point those out in a more close up look, if you will. I'm kind of tired, so I can't think very well. But that whole area further east from here, that area now is got a lot of soil, great soil, and ready for planting. I may plant some annuals, but for now, it looks ready for planting for whoever owns this home after I do. But for now, everything looks great. I'm happy. So let me get out of the way so you can get a great look, and then I'll take you around just so you can see what I did. This looks to me so much cleaner, so much nicer than it was before. Let's go up close to see what plants I put back in the ground because I ended up switching a couple of them. And so yeah, so you can get a good close look. My main focus was really over here. So that's where I was focusing the most. But I did go ahead and take all the old foliage off of the helleborus. Yeah, my helleborus look beautiful, don't they? Nice to see flowers at this time of the year. In fact, my Brenras are in bloom right now, and they're just going to get bigger and more beautiful as time goes on. But yeah, the buds are coming in with my Japanese maple. This one did suffer some broken branches, but once the foliage is out, it'll look just fine, and the branches will grow, and so it's okay. My Bishop Dahlias are all in this area right here. I ended up putting my yarrow over here and switching it with this one here. I'll put the name down here for you to see because it escapes me right now trying to wrap this up. But I ended up putting that. Of course, my lion's ear bit the dust. Very sad to see that, but it'll work out. But yeah, my yarrow has plenty of room. And the reason why I switched them was because this way the meter people can actually see what's on the screen there. Not that I really want them to do that, but you know, that's the way it is. So yeah, I just kind of took off all the dead foliage off of those two plants. I do have my little gem right here that's coming up right there. That's going to be beautiful. Right here I have Allium, Millenium over here. That's all coming back. Then of course my Brenra, which is in bloom now. My Kona grass is coming back, so that's really a nice sign. Yeah, got daffodils coming up. My red valerian did fantastic. It's doing great. Now you can see it looking pretty. This is grape hyacinth that start blooming here in springtime. So on this side, I just cleaned up my little riverbed, added some more soil, and then right here is where I planted the one plant. I'll put the name down. It actually requires quite a bit of sun, but I'm putting it here for now just to see what happens. And then come springtime, I'll move it. But yeah, this whole area right here now is ready for some promising plants, because I may just leave this area empty for the new owners. You know, there's always room for growth for planting. This would be a great start for them to plant what they want and not what I want. But this area right here gets a lot of shade because of my butterfly tree here. So yeah, that's it. It's dark, it's getting late, so gotta go. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. This is probably the longest video I've done in a long time, but I hope you enjoyed it. My camera did die down at one point, so you weren't able to see me actually put the soil down, but that's neither here or there. That's just a minor thing. And you didn't see me replant that little plant, but that's okay. So for now, you guys, I thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Mwah. Love you, and I appreciate you. Okay, see you soon.